Hi, I'm Anna, and welcome back to the D2 Audible Cheat Sheets. When a wine leaves the winery, the work is far from over, because how that wine reaches the end consumer matters just as much as how it was grown or made. In a free market, producers don't just decide what wine to make, they decide where it belongs. In the retail sector, that decision shapes price, margin, volume, and even how the wine is perceived. In many markets, most wine is still bought to take home and drink later. In the UK, around 80% of wine by volume is sold this way. That makes retail the dominant route to the consumer, but not a single uniform one. Let's start with supermarkets. Supermarkets are built to scale. They are designed to sell large volumes of wine to a very broad audience, often consumers with limited wine knowledge who want familiarity, value, and convenience. The wines that succeed here tend to be approachable in style, clearly labeled by grape variety or region, and priced competitively. Supermarkets stock well known brands because brands reduce risk for the consumer. But brands also create a problem for the supermarket. If the same wine is sold everywhere, customers can compare prices and shop around. To avoid this, supermarkets increasingly rely on exclusive and private label wines. These may be wines that exist elsewhere under different labels or brands created specifically for that retailer. For producers, supermarkets offer huge exposure and volume, sometimes across multiple countries, and often with no intermediary involved. But the trade off is power. Supermarket buyers have enormous negotiating leverage. Prices are tight, fees for listing and promotions are common, and producers are often expected to fund discounts. Contracts are strict, delisting is fast, and if something goes wrong, the producer may be left with a large volume of unsold wine. Deep discounters operate on different logic, even though they look similar on the surface. Their promise is permanently low prices, not promotions. They keep costs down by limiting choice, avoiding expensive branding, using simple stores and selling almost entirely private label wines. They often buy directly from producers and rarely charge listing fees. For producers, this can be attractive, especially when there is excess wine to sell. Margins may actually be healthier than selling discounted wine through supermarkets. Deep discounters also tend to be more flexible. When a wine sells out, that's it, no pressure to restock. Convenience retailers sit closer to where people live. They are open longer, operate in smaller spaces, and sell a narrower range. The wines they stock are usually familiar brands that local customers already recognize. Prices are often higher than supermarkets, but consumers are willing to pay for immediacy. The business model relies on proximity, not discovery. Specialist wine retailers are built on a completely different relationship with the consumer. These shops are destinations. They cater to people who are interested in wine, curious about new regions or styles, and willing to spend more per bottle. Because they lack supermarket buying power, they focus on smaller producers, lesser known regions, and distinctive wines. The real asset here is expertise. Knowledgeable staff hand sell wines, tell stories, suggest pairings, and build long term relationships. For producers, this can mean better margins and stronger brand positioning. Although selling through specialists usually involves a distributor because of the number of outlets involved. Hybrids blur the line between retail and hospitality. These are wine shops with bars attached, where customers can drink before they buy. This lowers the risk for the consumer and encourages exploration, especially of unfamiliar wines. It's a powerful model for discovery and education, but it comes with higher staffing cost, longer opening hours, and more regulation. Online retail has grown rapidly, though its importance varies by market. Online removes the cost of physical shops and allows retailers to offer a much wider range. This creates opportunities for niche producers and specialist selections to reach customers far beyond their local area. But wine is heavy, fragile, and expensive to deliver. Retailers must absorb or subsidize delivery cost, manage returns, and maintain fast, reliable websites that are easy to navigate. In markets like China, mobile apps dominate. Elsewhere, click and collect has become a cost saving bridge between online and physical retail. Global travel retail sits at the premium end. Once known mainly for duty free bargains, it has evolved into a showcase for high quality and exclusive wines. Airports offer time captive audiences and international exposure. But retail space is expensive, and suppliers often accept lower margins in exchange for visibility. Finally, wine investment companies operate in a world of scarcity rather than consumption. They deal in wines that have secondary markets, where provenance, rarity, and future resale value matter more than immediate drinking. These companies source, store, trade, and sometimes manage portfolios on behalf of investors. For a small number of wines, this route defines price entirely. Across all of these channels, the lesson from this chapter is simple but powerful. There is no single best retail route. Each channel reflects a balance between volume and margin, control and reach, risk and reward. The same wine can make sense in one channel and fail in another, not because the wine changed, but because the business context did. I hope this helps your D2 prep feel clearer, and I'll see you in the next episode where we move from retail shelves into the hospitality world and follow what happens when wine is sold by the glass.